so much, first off, for coming on here and just chatting with my whole tribe over here.
For
Please
sure.
share with everybody who you are, where you're from, and all the things.
Yeah. So I'm Danielle Gillespie. I am in Wilmington, North Carolina. Specifically, Carolina Beach is where our little hub is at, where my tribe is at. So I am with a smaller private brokerage. There's about like 20 of us total. And I have created my own team. So there are 6 of us total, and we work out of this little Carolina Beach office that's downtown CB. It's super cute. And yeah, we are all pretty much full-time real estate agents. We're all kind of young millennial hustlers, and we're just like doing the thing.
Perfect. I have so many questions for you.
Okay.
And I'm actually interviewing 2 agents for this series about building the team because I've been asked so many questions. So I feel like there is a need of agents just wanting some kind of guidance. I personally didn't know of like any trainings about building a team, that I was just reaching out to real estate agents, asking all the things, just to try to learn as much as I could prior. But I will say, there is nothing like going through the process to learn all the things. I feel like in the last 90 days, I have just learned so much. So I'm excited to dive in. If you guys have questions about joining a team, anything for Danielle, please come on video or write it on the chat. So when did you decide to start a team?
Okay. So I never thought that I was going to have a team. I thought I was always going to just be a solo agent, head down, grind, let's go. But I was on a team, and I kind of saw like a lot of benefits of having the team, and just like, honestly, the rah-rah and the support, and just knowing that I could step away at any time and like have that support from one of my agents, whether I'm going out of town or I'm busy with showings and I might need some help. I wanted to have a community of people that we could just all like just jive together, and we could all support each other and lift each other up. And then I realized, okay, like I don't have kids yet. I know I'm going to want kids. And then thinking about like, when I do have kids, what is that going to look like for my personal business? Because right now I'm bread and butter. So if I'm not producing, I don't have an income for my family. So I'm like, okay, what can I do to make sure that when I do start having my family, that I have income? And that would be the team. Besides other forms of passive income, which I am so big on, having investment properties and, investing in stocks and having multiple streams of income. But being able to build the team was the one way that I could have a steady, constant flow of income that I could still control, without having to actually go out into the field and sell myself. So it really happened like, honestly, in 2020. I started off my team, I guess, with just me and my assistant. So I got to the point where I was too busy to be doing all of the things by myself. So I hired a full-time assistant, and I was like freaking out because I'm like, I just hired a salaried employee that I am committing to 40 hours a week of work and like this salary. So I'm like, I have to sell real estate so I can pay her. So we got together, and it was just the best decision ever. I almost doubled my business that year. And ever since then, I was like, okay, I think I can maybe take on one more agent and just try to see how that goes. And then it just snowballed.
There's like so many things that you just said that I absolutely love. One is like setting yourself up for the future, and with kids. I think I look at agents now who have kids, and I'm like, how the heck do you do this?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was one of my thoughts with bringing on the team, was like, I hope to have kids, God willing, and I know I'm going to need help. And then with the investment aspect of what you just mentioned, I feel like we should have a other Zoom to talk about that, because I'm really into having multiple streams of income. And then I was going to mention also, like, it is really scary with bringing on somebody's salary and feeling as though like, okay, now I am responsible for their livelihood. So I need to build up business. And I think at first I was like, let's just one day at a time, see how things go. But it truly is such a game changer because you are able to do so much. And there's so many miscellaneous tasks that we spend so much time on that we should be outsourcing, right? Because they aren't income producing activities. So
Exactly.
I very, very much see the value in that. So did you hit a certain number and you were like, okay, now I'm going to bring somebody on, or kind of how was your thought process with that?
Kinda. So I'm really, really big into vision board planning and like doing that whole thing. So me and my husband sit down every single year at the beginning of the year. We do our vision board. We put it up in our kitchen so we can see it. Everybody sees it. Our friends see it. It can be uncomfortable, whatever, but
I
we
love
see it
that.
every day. And so I have income goals, and then I also have transaction goals. So I think for last year, I wanted to do, it was like, I think I wanted to sell 40 houses. And then I also wanted to hit 300,000 in income. Well, I hit one goal. I hit my income goal, but didn't necessarily hit the transaction goal. But to me, that was okay because I still hit my income goal. So once I got to that point, I was like, well, when I get to this point, I feel like it will be okay to get an assistant. But then it wasn't until like the end of 2019 where, I had hit my goals, and then I restructured them throughout the year because I was feeling like, okay, I can still take this on myself. I can still do all the things. But it wasn't until I was really starting to work like 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, and still feeling like I was just barely keeping up, where I was like, I have to make a change because I'm going to burn out or I'm going to give up. So I had been kind of like interviewing some people, and one, I don't even know how to interview. I don't even know how to build a team. I'm literally just building a team off of what my experience was on other teams, what I
Mhm.
liked and what I didn't like, and then just trying to create my own little avenue of a team. So yeah, so I ended up just getting like way too busy. I started interviewing some people, and I was like, I don't even know like how to interview this person. So I was trying to reach out to just some different hubs that I could go to. Like some people in Keller Williams I'm really close with, and some people with EXP, and they all have different avenues of like training and coaching for different models. But I didn't
Mhm.
necessarily want like a specific model that you might read about in like some textbooks, or
Yeah.
I wanted it to be a little bit different because I feel like real estate is so ever changing right now. Um, so when COVID happened, she's actually my best friend, Brittany, she was out of a job. Her job just completely disintegrated. And I was like, okay, well, I seriously need help. I'm drowning. Like, would you be willing to like help me with a few things here and there? And she was like, all right, let me think about it. Let me think about it. So it took us like 3 months or so to really just kind of like get in line. And then she was like, all right, I'm going to do it. She got her license, and we were just side by side. And she was just like literally my right-hand woman for months, just to like learn the lingo and learn the way that I do my business and do all the things. And then it was just all of a sudden we were a well-oiled machine and like just running with it. So it really wasn't until I felt the need to get a full-time assistant is when
Mhm.
I actually decided like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And I saved up. I was like saving up, and I had her entire salary paid for up front just in case.
Good. Yeah, I've definitely heard that multiple times. And every single agent that I've spoken to about their team, every person does it so differently. So
Mhm.
I kind of think like that's the beauty behind it. It's like you get to create your team however it is that you want and what works for you. And even, I feel like I'm constantly tweaking things or doing things differently. So I don't think there's like one perfect way on building a team, right? So, how besides bringing on your friend, how do you find talent? How did you find the agents on your team?
So I am very much so attraction-based marketing. I do it
Mhm.
for my real estate in general. And it was something that I wanted to take into the building of the team aspect because I do not recruit. I just want to work with people that want to work with me, and they're like-minded individuals. Like I said, I don't have kids. I do work a lot. I
Mhm.
have a specific brand. I have a specific client avatar that I go after. So there are some specifics that just really align with like me and my tonality and the way that I do my business and the way that I dress. So I just kind of like put that out there. And once people started seeing that I had Brittany and that she was also selling, that's kind of when people started reaching out and was like, hey, I want to join your team. But at that point, like last year, I was like, I don't have a team. It's just me.
Yeah.
But So I was like, well, I just keep getting people that are asking to be on my team. And I know it's because they've seen the success that I've had. And then they started seeing the success that Brittany was having. And so people were like, I know that they think like, hey, well, they're killing it. They're doing great. I know if I'm on their team, I'm going to kill it and I'm going to do great too. That has like, no matter what team that you're on, it really just doesn't have anything to do with how much you're willing to put into it. Because seriously, what you're willing to put into this real estate career is what you're going to get out of it. So I can give you all the tools and all of the resources that you could ever need to make $1 million. But unless you're actually putting the work in to do it, you're not going to make $1 million. So I was just attracting people that had a similar personality to me, who wanted to hustle, who wanted to grind. And it ended up becoming like also young women who don't have families yet and are wanting to get on that career path and have this be a really stable career. So very much so attraction based. But going forward, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to start recruiting. My biggest thing for me personally is making sure that I have the time and energy to give my agents the support that they need and deserve before I start adding on more agents.
I same thing, pretty much posted it on Instagram that I was looking to bring on some agents, and then just had agents reaching out to me. And then another thing was our Keller Williams office in our Facebook group, just mentioning that I was looking for people, and then just telling the other agents there, and they're like, oh, well, so-and-so had just started, she might be interested, right? So I feel like that's the best way to go. And what I've heard from other agents is just reaching out to your sphere too. And yeah, so let's see. What does your interview process look like?
Yeah. So I pretty much will just sit down with someone, typically in a really casual setting, like a really cute coffee shop or just someplace local, so that we can be not distracted, but in our own different elements. We're not in my office or someplace else. So we'll typically just grab coffee, and it's just more so like hey, this is me. This is who are you? What do you like to do? What are your hobbies? What's your personality like? How often, do you want to come into the office? And more so like, what support are you looking for? Because if the support I know I'm willing to give matches up with that, then I'll be like, okay, let's take some next steps. But if I feel like it's not what I can give, or maybe our personalities or just what they want out of this business don't align, it's not going to be a good fit. And I try to, at that meeting, whether it's, sometimes it's a phone call too. And that meeting is where I'll figure out, like, should we take it to the next step or not? Because I don't want to lead someone on. But if we're going to take it to the next step, it's going to be a little bit more formal. We're going to sit down. We're going to talk about paperwork. We're going to talk about specifically like what you get, what this looks like for you, and how it's realistically going to align with your life. But in our first initial, just like meet up, coffee, girl, or, whatever, it could be a guy too. I don't discriminate. If it doesn't feel right in that meeting, I will most likely give them recommendations of maybe some other teams or companies to join, instead of like saying like, hey, let's take it to the next step.
Yeah. When I started interviewing, one thing that I'm going to do differently is do more of an interview process. I didn't really know what to do. So I met up with everybody at a coffee shop, or I think I ended up doing a Zoom first, because I feel like you can tell a lot about a person, and before I'm going to go drive out and meet somebody, I was like, let's do a Zoom. And there was a lot of people that I was like, okay, this isn't going to work out. So we didn't have to like waste our time meeting up. So I did that. And then we did the coffee shop. And then that was it. But now, like, moving forward, I really want to have them come to a team meeting, maybe like come with me to a training or something, and then do like a mock buyer consult, mock showings, like show me what you're like with clients. Also, like, I want to hear you on the phone and having conversations with people, I'm open to bringing on a brand new agent. And even if somebody's brand new, like, they can still have a lot of confidence and an idea of what to say. And so that was just one thing that I've learned, is that I want to have more of an interview process. And I just didn't know what that looked like until now I'm in it. So that would be one thing that I would highly, highly recommend. And if they want to be a part of your team, like, they will go to all these meetings for you and show you that they want to work with you. So Anyone that you've brought on, have you called any references?
Um, no, no, not really. So the first agent that I brought on, her name is Sarah, and she
Mhm.
was someone she came from Boston, and she reached out to me on social media, like probably 6 months before she moved to Wilmington. And she was like, I'm moving to Wilmington. I want to get into real estate. I'm not in real estate. I don't have my license, but like, this is something I've always wanted to do. And I was like, all right, like I'll, see it when I believe it. Like I get people sliding into my DMs all the time. And like, I will put the energy there when I see that it's actually happening.
Mhm.
So it started clicking down to when she's gonna be moving here. She's like, Danielle, I'm actually moving. And I was like, where are you moving to? And she was like, I'm moving here, but this is my move-in date. I was like, okay, so like this is actually happening. So I was like, okay, well, why don't you, when you get here, come into the office and like, let's start doing some shadowing days so you can like see what it really looks like. So she would come in, listen to me on the phone. She would go to showings with me, builder walkthroughs, a closing, like
Oh,
just
that's
shadowing.
great.
Yeah, just shadowing me to like make sure, one, this is like what she wants to do. And then two, at the same time, I was able to like see how she presented herself or see how willing she
Yes.
was to talk in that group. Like
Mhm.
she like just started talking to my clients like the first day that I introduced them to her as if she was in real estate already. And I was like, okay, this is great.
Mhm.
She's got the confidence. So then she went through real estate school, and then we just like really deep dive into just all the things and the contracts and teaching her all of that stuff. And then the other two agents that I added, they have been in real estate for a couple of years, but more like part-time. So I didn't necessarily have to teach them like the contracts, but more so how to negotiate, how to talk
Mhm.
on the phone, how to lead gen. So that's kind of what we have been working on recently. And as I'm going, I'm really trying to, anything that I think is evergreen content, I'm really trying to make it into a really beautiful template and save it so that I can just duplicate it going further. So it's like
Yes.
I'm learning as I'm building. But I feel like I do give a lot of value where it does make sense for my agents. But I'm for sure still learning too. Like you said, there's
Yeah.
really no right or wrong way to do it. It's just
Mhm.
do it and run with it, be consistent with it.
I think honestly, I'm expecting to always be learning because it's like
Yeah.
you're gonna deal with different people's personalities, and then the real estate market changing. So
Mhm.
I'm trying not to put like any pressure on myself in that aspect.
Yeah.
Are
It's hard.
you yeah, are you having the agent sign a contract when they sign on with you?
Yes. So I do have it's a really simple one-page contract. It pretty much just breaks down like what their commission splits are, which I can totally share with you guys. So pretty much essentially my splits look, I have a small split with the brokerage itself. So this is one thing that I love about the brokerage that I'm at is everything is very negotiable. So I have negotiated down to pretty much it's like a half cap for all of my agents.
Mhm.
So they have a $9,500 half cap with the brokerage. And then after they cap with the brokerage, they always have a split with me, but it is
Mhm.
tiered to sell more real estate because then they're going to make more money. So if you're a brand new agent, your first 10 transactions are a 50-50 split, no matter where they came from.
Mhm.
If you are not a brand new agent, then it's a 50-50 split for anything that I give you up until 5 million that you've closed in a year. Or if you bring the lead, it's 70-30. They would get 70, I would get 30. After 5 million, then the splits change to 60-40, 60 them, 40 me for anything that I give them, and then 80-20 for anything that they bring in. And then once they hit 10 million, it's 75-25 for anything that I give them, and then 90-10 for anything that they bring in. So it does encourage them to continue to sell more because
Mhm.
ultimately they're going to make more with a smaller split. And then that would
Yeah.
just restart every anniversary year.
Okay. Every year it's
Mhm.
starting over.
Yep.
Cool. So,
Yep.
do you do any kind of trial period, like 30, 60, 90-day goals or anything?
Yeah. Oh, I haven't, I guess everyone has made it past 90 days now.
Yeah.
So Sarah just started, in like
Mhm.
December of 2021. And then the rest of my agents really started in January. So we're only 5 months in for this team. And now
Mhm.
Brittany has transitioned into a full-time real estate agent. And then I've, hired her out for another admin. But, so I will monitor them, and we will do, like, right now we're doing Monday morning huddles. Every Monday morning, we're at least getting together, seeing like what everyone has done during the weekend. What does everyone want to work on during this week to help me set my schedule up to figure out who needs support and what they need, so I can prioritize that in my week. And then depending on, so I use a system called Real Geeks, which is a CRM profile. And I can actually log into all of my agents' profiles and see like the tasks, their leads, like how, like, are you working them? Have you contacted them? Do you have any overdue tasks? So like when I get a new lead, I've got all of these campaign systems of like follow-up tasks that will automatically go into place. So if one of my agents isn't following the tasks, or, if they haven't closed anything, or if they haven't set any appointments, I'm more so just taking notice of that and saying, hey, let's get on a one-on-one. So we've been doing like weekly one-on-ones for some agents that might need a little bit more support, or maybe one-on-one, monthly one-on-ones for agents that might not need as much support, just so that I can figure out like who needs what, and then holding them accountable. My team model is, I am not going to force you into doing anything. If you want to sell $5 million of real estate, cool, let's get you to 5 million. If you want to send 10 million, cool, let's get you to 10 million. But I'm not going to tell you, you have to sell 10 million to be on this team. But if you're telling me that you want to do 5 million, I'm going to hold you accountable to try to get to 5 million. And if you're not doing that, then we need to figure out what's going on, because I'm paying for a lot of support for you to be successful. If you're not going to take it and use it, then let me give it to someone else who does want to be here. So we're still kind of doing all that. So far, no one has needed to get the boot.
Okay.
We're good so far. Yeah.
Have you like set up any kind of expectations when they join the team? Like, I at least like need you to bring one deal in, or a certain amount of calls, or an open house, or anything like that?
Not really. And so this might be me learning as well as I'm going along. No, not really, because pretty much it's like I just try to always put myself into their shoes and like, why are they here? What do they want out of it? Well, obviously they want deals. Obviously agents want leads. So if I'm going to give that to them, which I am, if you're not going to be working them, I'm not going to give you more leads. So if you're not closing a deal, that's fine. I'll give that lead to someone else who will close it. So I'm not losing out on the money, but you are, because you're not putting the work in. And I'm not going to be held accountable for you not showing up when you say you're going to show up. I'll just give it to someone else who actually wants to work it. So far, that's been okay. But again, I feel like that also helps that I'm attracting people that are also like me, because we all have like a similar mentality of like, we're doing this full time. We want to sell real estate. So it's not just, it's just not
I gotcha.
It's very structured. I mean, we are a business, and we do try to treat it like a business.
Yeah. Do you have anyone helping you with the agents, training or answering questions or anything along those lines?
So we have a group chat. Every morning we kind of chime into the group chat, and we'll say like good mornings, or we'll send like helpful podcasts, or and then a lot of times if an agent has a question, they'll just shoot it in the group chat and someone will answer it. So it's not always me, which has freed up a lot of time for me. And then it allows other agents to be active like in our team and helping each other out. So it really takes down that competitive edge between each other and continues to support each other for that supportive feel that I was hoping for out of the team. So I do have like my assistant now, she's starting to help me go through all of my leads and like making sure like the leads are all on track and that they're being worked correctly. But that is going to be my next phase, will be getting someone full time that will just be for like agent relation and retention. And then like lead, like cleaning up all the leads and like making sure all of that is being worked correctly.
I feel as though I have McCall, who's my director of operations, that initially, like, I mean, we didn't have a team. I had a transaction coordinator, but it was just us. And when she first came on with me, like she was helping me with my systems and leads and all of those things. And then now it's like her role has pretty much completely changed, because these agents have so many questions every day, and there's just I think a lot of the basic questions, like when you sign on with a brokerage, right? Like it's like getting set up with the CRM and all of their documents and dot loop and just like random miscellaneous things. So she's also like meeting up with them and doing mock showings and just a bunch of random stuff that it's like, yeah, I couldn't do that, nor do I want to do that.
Yeah, that's a lot. So is that someone that is like in Keller Williams or someone that third party you have hired?
So it was so perfect. So she worked in our office for another team. She was the team's director of operations, and she worked for them for 3 years. And she had mentioned to me that over the 3 years, like she was wanting to leave because one, she wanted to work remote. It was like an older team, and she's my age, so she just wanted to be around like more like-minded people. And then finally she reached out to me and she was like, hey, are you hiring? And I was like, are you looking for a job? I was like, I would love to try to figure out if I can afford you, because she had so much experience.
Yeah.
And she's a licensed realtor and has all this experience with the team. And so yeah, she's an agent within our office, but she doesn't sell. She is
Okay.
like exclusive to helping the team.
Okay. Okay. That's nice. I'm starting to work on that with my new assistant. So Brittany, she transitioned out last year. Well, in April, because she wanted to just commit to full-time real estate, which was the goal. So I hired a new admin, which she totally came out of the woodworks. And I was like, okay, this feels right in my gut. So I've hired her, but I'm pretty much, she is licensed, but we're doing the whole thing and like training the whole thing and doing everything brand new. But currently I am your McCall. So like I am taking that all on, and it is a lot of work. And so I'm constantly having to like reel myself in, and my husband is so supportive with it, but I'm constantly like, Danielle, like you put in a lot of work. Like you're answering questions for agents until 10:30 at night. And like I truly have stepped away from my business a lot this year in order to work on the business, which is something to think about. It's very, very scary. But I just have a lot of confidence that all the time and energy that I'm putting in right now on this business is going to make it worth it. God willing that I have children hopefully this year. But yeah, I've had to take a big step back because it's a lot of work for sure.
Yeah. I think initially, before I had met with McCall, I wasn't actively looking for somebody, but I was sporadically interviewing people. I made like I don't know, the websites where you can go and find people who are looking for jobs. And so I did a couple interviews and just nobody checked off the boxes. I feel like somebody who has some type of real estate experience would be really valuable when you're looking to hire somebody, because it's like they at least get it. They get the jargon, they get the lifestyle, whereas someone who's coming from a 9 to 5 has never worked in real estate, it just felt so different. So I'm really, really grateful finding McCall, because she got me organized. I didn't have to train her to do anything. I mean, that is so time consuming. And also with her, like having experience with bringing on agents, like she handles the whole onboarding process. She knows, like she's got all these spreadsheets and trackers and all that stuff. So if she ever leaves me and I have to find somebody new, I would probably be reaching out to other real estate agents or other people that I know are on a team doing that job and seeing if they're interested in switching over. I know people do that. So
yeah. It sounds like you've got a good setup then with where you're at. I definitely think having someone who has knowledge in real estate is beneficial. At least who I've got now, she's licensed and she's been licensed for a year. She kind of at least knows that. So now we're just learning like each other's personalities and how I do my business. Cause I feel like my business is definitely different than how a lot of other agents do their business. And so just like learning all of that, but my next hire is intentionally going to be someone who is going to be, I think, a lot more like McCall and being able to really, really help with that. And then so that I can get back into selling real estate.
Right. Yeah. I feel like that makes sense. And our team schedule, just to share with everybody, is Monday morning, we get on a Zoom call, all of us, and we are basically just like catching up about the weekend, what's going on this week, what do you need help with? And then we have a texting thread. So that's kind of like constant, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But Tuesday through Thursday, like we're just texting pretty much. Of course, they call me if they have questions and they call them a call. And then Friday, we do a one-on-one success chat. And I'm kind of in this place right now where we brought on, let's see, I'm Megan. We brought on 4 agents total, and now we're down to 2. Okay. So one of them ended up leaving because her husband had lost his job and they didn't have any savings. And so she was like, I'm going to have to find a job like quick. So she had left for that reason. And then another, she was not a good culture fit for us. So it was like, that has ended. And we've kind of been in this place where like, okay, do we try to find more agents? Do we want to bring on more people? But one of the girls that's on the team is really good and is really crushing it and takes all my buyers. And I feel very, very, very confident with her. So I'm almost like, because it takes away, if I'm having to help other agents or McCall is, then we're not giving this person who is a freaking rock star all of our attention. So part of me is just like wanting to keep it how it is for now and just kind of build things from there. Because it's like, I only really need one person. I've got a transaction coordinator, a full-time salary person. I just need someone to work those buyers, you know? So I'm kind of just like thinking, I don't think I need to have 5+ people on the team, but that's just kind of like where I'm at right now. Who knows? Next week, you could be seen on social media, just brought on 5 agents.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's like how I feel too. But I've been networking with so many people outside of my close network. So one big thing for me that has helped is I did decide to join a larger network of active real estate agents. I'm in the Tom Ferry network. And I committed to them last fall. And that has been super, super helpful just because my brokerage, unfortunately, one of the downfalls is we really don't have a lot of training or resources given to us. So pretty much everything that I have built. And it is like all of my systems, my platforms, my CRM system is because I did the research to find out which one I thought would be best. Everything I did. So it's taken me probably 3 years to get to this point and have all this content that is evergreen for these people, but it's all proven results of what I have done. So with that being said, it's like I've put in all this time and energy and I have this good thing going for me right now. But I think one thing about being on the team, especially when you're creating a team that has a 50-50 split, like, you know, you're going to have some turnover because at some point your rock stars that are killing it are going to sit back and be like, can I do this on my own? Can I make 50% more income and do this on my own? And they will. I was one of those people. I was on a team that was small. I was like hose fed leads. I made great money my first year in real estate because I hustled it and I worked it. And I know that they knew I was always planning on leaving, which at the time I didn't plan on leaving. But at one point I was like, I have everything that I need to do this on my own. I just need to take the leap of faith and find my own leads and do this thing by myself. I don't need as much support as I thought I did. And that's when I decided to break out on my own. And I never thought that I was going to have a team because I'm a 2nd generation real estate agent. So my dad owned a brokerage and he had a bunch of agents, and just seeing his work-life balance all growing up, I was like, I'm never going to be a real estate agent. Like, this is not what I ever wanted to do. And here I am literally doing the same thing that he's doing, but I'm also seeing and learning from things that he did. And just like what I want, and just thinking like, I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to go someplace for 3 weeks and not have to worry about like not making money for those 3 weeks because I'm not on the ground hustling. So that's when I was like, I do need an assistant. I do need a team, because if I'm gone for 3 weeks, they're still producing and our team is still making money. So that's when I knew it was like, okay, so now going forward, it's like, I can see what I can do with 5 agents. What can I do with 10 agents?
Yeah. Dang, that's exciting to think. This year has been so great with having McCall and then the buyer's agents. Like I am not making as much because now I have to pay someone the salary, and with all of my buyer leads, I'm not making that full
Mhm.
commission, but I am totally cool with it because now it's like Thursday, we're going out of town. Like we can go out of town whenever we want now.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about, oh, I got to do showings this weekend or I got to get it covered like that. I had a showing assistant for almost 2 years, but like it was difficult when I was out of town and, still having to work, still having to negotiate all those things. So this year has just been like my work-life balance has been amazing.
Oh, doesn't that feel so good?
Yes, it does. And I'm like, okay, if I have kids, like,
Yeah.
if it's like how it is now, and I have
Yeah.
this help, that'll be great. And then as far as the agents, of course, I know people are going to leave, and there's
Mhm.
going to be turnover. But if someone was someone that I really enjoy, like I do now, um, if she was to come to me in a year, like, hey, I'm thinking about leaving, I would
Mhm.
be like, let's try to negotiate the money. Cause to me, like that's not as important. It's like I need these clients taken care of because I do need the business. I do need some
Mhm.
money coming in, right? But I would
Mhm.
want to renegotiate with her and be like, look, just give me like, we would figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I would be the same too. It's definitely got to be a give and take. It's got to make sense
Mhm.
for both parties, for sure.
Yeah.
So are you not working with buyers at all anymore?
No, none. And I mean, she's got like 9 or 10 people right now under contract for my buyers, and I haven't had done anything. And everybody's been so great. And I feel like that's what's so wonderful about social media is I've been trying to push out like all this like team content,
Yeah.
and I want people to feel comfortable with it. And it's so fabulous. People are like, hey, Stevie, could you or someone on your team help us? We're thinking about buying. Like it's always like you and the team. It's like,
Nice.
oh my gosh, like this shit is working with us like talking about it over and over. And like they're totally okay with it. That was one thing I was so nervous about was like, they're gonna want to work with me. But the fact everything's going so great. And
Yeah.
it's not like that. I'm still chiming in, right? I'm like, hey, how's it going? Let me help you strategize this offer, yada yada. But it's still very hands off. I'm not having to go anywhere, which I love.
I have not yet done that leap of faith. I'm still like doing buyers and sellers, but I would love to get to the point where I'm just doing listings. But I feel like
Yeah.
that's a leap.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a true value to the agents on the team. It's like you're getting all of my buyers. They're going to be yours completely, and I'm just going to focus on listing. So that's how they're getting their business. They haven't brought any leads to the table or working with anyone actively. It's all like my clients. But it's
Okay.
like we're just starting, and I'm like fine with that.
Yeah.
So
So I do a lot of like pay-per-click ads.
okay.
So I would say like probably a good 50% of the leads that I give my agents are from pay-per-click ads.
Hmm.
And then I do encourage my agents to be very social on social media. And
Yeah.
so I would say I'm looking at our board over here. There's a good chunk, probably like 30 to 40% are also coming from social media for themselves personally. So
Hmm.
I'm really
Oh,
trying
that's
to help
awesome.
them. Yeah. I'm really trying to help them get their social media accounts like really up and running and like
Hmm.
intentionally geared towards their audience, because that is the best way right now to get free leads.
Yeah.
It's
And
not that I don't want to pay for them, but that's how I built my business, was
yeah.
organic.
Yes, I love that. And your Instagram is awesome. I shared your handle on here. I love the reels. I feel
Thank
like that's what you're doing is what you have to do if you want to get leads from social media. So I feel like your account is it's such a great example.
Mhm.
I'm curious to know about the team. How often are you getting together in person? Do you have them come to the office? Are you lead generating? Are you doing events? What does that look like?
Yeah. So I personally go to the office every single day, 9 to 11. Oh, sometimes it'll be longer than that, just depending on what my workload looks like. But I
Okay.
am here every single day from 9 to 11. And I always tell my agents I'm here from 9 to 11. So if you want to come in and work side by side with me and lead
Mm,
gen together, that is my time to do so. If I don't set that time, then my days just get so just jumbled up. So
Yeah.
9 to 11, I'm always here. And then I always encourage, if you feel like you need more support, just please reach out and we'll schedule a one-on-one. So for one of my agents, she is currently doing a 9 to 5 and trying to get out of it. So we have set up one-on-ones for every single Friday at noon on her lunch break to go over what she's working on, what's working, what's not working, what pillars do we need to work on, and what can I do to help you, and all of those things. So she just got one under contract and she's closing tomorrow.
Yay.
But we'll do one-on-ones whenever you need it. So if you need one once a week or once every other week, whatever you need, I am here for that. Just ask me and we'll put it on the schedule. And then we do try to do team meetings once a month where we all come together. And those ones are really just like pretty much talking about like where our numbers at, our goals, what the market is doing, what are the common conversations that we're having with buyers and sellers right now that are hurdles that we need to all overcome together. So just more like of an informative meeting for those. And then we've got the Monday morning huddles, and then we've got the constant group chat. And I pretty much just have my phone open to everybody. So like they can come to me for whatever and any reason at all. And like, I mean, there's times they'll just send me like a screenshot of an email that they're going to send to someone and they'll be like, can you proofread this? And although it is very time consuming for me, I know that it is the support that is getting them to feel comfortable and they're learning as they're going. So I just trust that it's going to be making sense and paying off.
Yeah, definitely. No, it sounds like you have a really good structure set up. And oh gosh, I was going to ask you something. Let me think. Oh, does the buyers on the team, are they just working buyers, or do you allow them to do listings too?
I allow them to do both, just because this is going back to when I was on a team. And one of the biggest reasons that I decided to break off was because I had friends that wanted to list their property and I wanted to list it. It would have been the perfect experience for me to do my first listing. They were my friends, like, and I wasn't allowed to, and I was forced to hand that off. And that just felt so uncomfortable. And my friends were like, we either want you or we're going to go a completely different direction. So I ended up listing their house and I got a great first experience out of that. But I don't ever want my agents to feel like I am the reason that they are not being as successful as they could be because I'm telling them they can or can't do something. So all of my agents are allowed to do whatever they want. One of them, Sarah, she just got a listing actually from a lead that I gave her, that came in from a pay-per-click. She converted them. And then we went and got our nails done together. And next to us was an investor from South Carolina. And she just did the whole deal off market under the table. Like it was so great. Now she's double ending both sides. Now she's, it was really crazy. And she's got another listing coming up, and I pay for signs. I pay for marketing material. They'll pay for their own photos, but I'll pay for signs. I pay for business cards. I'll pay for the flyers and the postcards that we're sending out to everybody. So I try to put as much support that I can around each agent, as long as it's making sense.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. I told the agents, I was like, if you want to bring on listings, like, please bring on listings. That would be fabulous.
Yeah. It's just more of your name everywhere and your agents and
no, I'm like, please bring on listings. I think it's silly to have the agent not be able to have that, and I think it does take away from the team, because I think in a lot of cases they're like, I want to work with you, not your team lead, right? And I'm also paying for all their stuff as well. Okay, let's go back to these questions. How long have you been an agent? In the chat is what I'm looking at.
Yep.
How long?
Sorry. Oh, I have been I got licensed in November of 2018. So
awesome. Yeah. Did you were you from where you're living now, or had you just moved there?
Yeah, no, I'm actually from Toledo, Ohio. So
okay.
Throw rock into Michigan. And my husband and I, he was graduating from physical therapy school. And we were just going to move south, and we're like, where are we going to go? So we both wanted to go someplace south. So we just took a road trip and we did North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, and fell in love with Wilmington. I don't know if anyone has ever been to Wilmington. But it is like it's like a mini Charleston. It's just, it's
Okay.
so cute. It's very historic. It's right on the water. So we purchased our home sight unseen in Carolina Beach so we can walk to the beach, which was like the biggest thing about moving south is we wanted to be by the beach. So bought our house sight unseen so I can totally relate with all of these out of town people. So I am in a coastal vacation town, which does help with bigger ticket items as well as really grabbing leads for like short-term rentals. So I personally have short-term rentals that I manage myself. So yeah, moved here. I didn't know
That's
a
great.
single person, nobody. And I just like literally sat down one day and just started picking up the phone.
Yeah. What, calling like circle prospecting
Yes,
or?
it was terrible.
Awesome.
I would,
Yeah, but you were
yeah.
able to build your business, right? Off of that.
Yes, I circle dialed, just listed and just sold for 4 hours a day, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 12.
Yeah. Yeah. The agents on the team now, they're starting to get into calling and they actually they're feeling good about it. And I keep telling them, I'm like, this isn't a forever thing. Like this is something you're going to grind out for a bit, but if you put in the work and you know, get better at your skills with having conversations with people, like this is going to help build your business so that you're not going to have to do this. And then you'll get the referrals from it. So, I definitely think that there's a lot of value with doing those cold calls, even though it sucks. Right.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
when you get that win, it's like so exciting.
Yes. I had one of my agents in the other day and she was not used to cold calling at all. And I knew that I logged into her back end. I was like, this client is looking for like these types of homes. Have you made connections? So like I called the lead, I got all the information that they were looking for in a specific neighborhood. So I was like, Diana, you are going to go in and you're going to call this neighborhood because it's not going to be as cold now. And it's all on like your mindset. So it's not necessarily a cold call because you have a client that wants to live in this neighborhood specifically. So you are doing right by your client to call all of these homeowners in there to see if anybody wants to sell. And honestly, she had some of the best conversations from some of these homeowners and she felt so lit up after the fact. And it's all on mindset on how you're doing your business and how you're coaching it to and putting it across to your agents. It doesn't have to be scary.
Yeah. And with the calls, like, we're doing a single line dialer right now, just to kind of like ease into it, but it's kind of slow. So it's like, we're doing something else at the same time, you know? So we're able to like go through our emails or follow up with other people, send a text or whatever, while it's making the calls and dropping the voicemails and all of that.
Yep.
Also, how much are you paying your assistant?
So she is on a salary. It's about $30,000 a year. And then we will be working towards a bonus structure when we get to that point. And if I can hit certain goals, then she would get paid more. But right now it's very, I try to be very courteous. Although she is salaried, I do try to keep all of my work between the hours of 9 and 5, just to be courteous of that. And honestly, like sometimes like she works from home a lot. Like today she's working from home. And some days she might not even have a whole workload. It might even just be like a couple emails that she has to send out. So once I get to a point where I'm like, all right, I'm working you like a dog, then keep it as is. But that's what I did for Brittany. And then that's what I'm doing for the new girl as well. So it's been okay.
That's perfect.
Yep.
How do you trust them that they won't use your systems when she leaves?
Oh, I don't. They probably will. You just got to get past the mindset. Yeah. I mean, it's so easy. I mean, you can't tell me that you haven't looked at someone's Instagram profile and copied and pasted a caption or redid a reel or, you know, like in this industry, people are always going to rip off and duplicate your stuff. So it's, again, you are the service provider. Whatever you're going to put into it is what you're going to get out of it. So if someone comes along and just steals all of my marketing material, all of my stuff, cool, more power to you. I've already put a book of business. I know what I'm doing. I'm consistent. I'm a good person. It'll all work out.
100%. What is your assistant's work schedule since we are not 9 to 5? Well, you had mentioned that you try to keep it within 9 to 5, but it's probably just like miscellaneous admin tasks, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, emails, phone calls, running signs, picking up
Mhm.
checks, coordinating appointments and stuff like that. I went out of town this past weekend. So
Mhm.
I was gone Friday and Saturday. And, of course I took a listing live on Friday. So like my phone was blowing up. And I was like, Anna, you got this. I'm going to
Yeah.
forward all my phone calls to you. I'm going to forward my emails to
Nice.
you. It's really pre-planned that. So like her workload at the
That's
beginning
great.
of the week wasn't as heavy so that she could work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday if need be.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, it just worked out. It's just communication. And that's also why I do salary, because there will be some times where you have to potentially work a night or a weekend, but
Mhm.
for the most part, it's going to be a night, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, unless we have a pre-planned showing or we'll
Mhm.
communicate that. But yeah, I mean, most of the tasks she can do is during the day
Make
anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I'm skipping over some of these because I feel like we've already answered them, but do you use a payroll company to pay your admin?
I don't. So I have a CPA and I know
Yeah.
like tells me how much I have to pay her and then I
Mhm.
pay quarterly taxes, but
Mhm.
I currently am zelling her every other
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah. I have my Venmo set up with my
Yeah.
business account. And I had asked him, I was like, what, should I do have them stay at 1099 or should I put her on payroll? And he was like 100% do not put her on payroll, pay her, via Venmo through your business account. And then now at the end of the year, I'll be able to deduct all the money that I had been paying her. And then also, there's no liability there of her ever coming after me for anything if that was to be the case. I guess one of the concerns that an agent said was like, well, now like she's a 1099, she can, work whenever she wants. And it's like, yeah, sure. But it's like we have tasks every day that have to be done. And I guess like it doesn't matter when you do it that day, but it
Yeah.
hasn't been any kind of issue. But
Yeah.
that
I mean,
seems to be,
at that point, there's no difference between a 1099 and a W-2.
yeah.
I mean, you're still kind of telling them what to do.
Oh yeah,
Doesn't
totally.
matter.
And but I mean, based off of the things that he had suggested, I was like, that sounds like the pick for me. So she's having to take money aside that I'm paying her for her taxes.
Okay. Okay.
So,
So I don't think so mine are W-2s. So,
mhm,
and so that's, I think why I pay the quarterly taxes so that
mhm.
she doesn't have to deduct anything from what I'm paying her. So what I give her is straight up like
What
already
she,
taxed.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And
okay,
then
someone wrote go ahead.
we set up my whole business as an S corp
Hmm.
instead of, so I don't know if y'all are S corp too versus
Yes. Yep. So let's see. Oh, what's paperclip? Pay per clip. uh,
per click.
okay, do
Pay
you
per
want to break that
click.
down?
Yeah, pay per clicks are ads. So if you go and look at something on Google and you Google something and you see like 3 little ads at the top, and you clicked on that, that would be a pay per click. So if I typed in like best real estate agent in Wilmington, North Carolina, and my ad came up and someone clicked on it, I would be billed for having that person click on it because it was the top of Google.
Mhm.
So I do Facebook ads. That's pretty much my biggest form of ads right now. I do pay for some realtor.com leads.
Mhm.
But mostly like Facebook and Google are kind
Mhm.
of where it's at for ads.
Awesome. Let's see. Okay, I may have missed this. Do you pay for all MLS dues and office fees for your buyer's agents? Do you have them pay for anything?
No. Anything that is you and your business that makes your
Mhm.
business run is on you. But anything that is like me and my team is me. So I will pay
Mhm.
for all the signs because I want all of our signs to be cohesive and they match. So I'll pay for signs, I'll pay for business cards, postcards, mailers, swag,
Mhm.
um, things like that. But I'm not going to pay for your MLS dues. I'm not going to pay for your listing photos. I'm not going to
Same.
pay for you to take your clients out to lunch, like anything that is you, like your material. If you want anything custom made, if you want anything like that is on you. I even
Mhm.
will let my agents use their own like business cards and yard signs if they want to get their own made. Um, but if you use mine, then I will pay for them.
Yeah.
So pretty much everyone is just using my stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. How many hours for 30,000 per year?
For
40.
For the assistant?
Yeah, I think so.
So, my assistant, I tell them it is 40 hours a week for 30,000 a year, comes down to $15 an hour. But the luxury of it, which honestly, I really haven't gotten a whole lot of kickback from that. I know it's not like 50 or 60,000, but, sometimes you get to work from home and some days you might not have anything to do at all. So like if I have like a super relaxed, flexible day and you already got caught up on all of your tasks in Real Geeks and all of your emails, like you might not really have anything to do that day. And it's flexible. And like, I'm like, if you want to go, like my girl now, Anna, she's really big into fitness and she loves going to the gym at 11 o'clock. So I'm like, if you want to go to the gym at 11 o'clock today or every single day, I don't care. As long as you're getting your tasks done, it doesn't have to be within 9 to 5, as long as you're getting them done that day. So I don't care if you do it at 6 a.m. or 9 o'clock at night, as long as it's getting done. So it's super flexible and relaxed. And I think that's a big benefit for people.
I love that. Well, that pretty much wraps up all the questions that I had. And it looks like questions from the group. This was, it's already been an hour. This was super informative. And honestly, it was really helpful for me. So hopefully it was helpful for everybody else. And then share what your Instagram is, because usually people like take a photo and then they'll tag you and all that fun stuff.
So my Instagram is at Wilmington NC Broker. So it's just like Wilmington, North Carolina broker.
Perfect. Because I'm going to have the replay. A lot of people usually end up catching the replay. And I don't know if you can see the chat. So I wrote it in the chat. So I just wanted to make sure you had shouted that out. Thank you so much, Danielle. I appreciate it. And I hope everyone has a great rest of your day.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
Bye.